Tell me about what we're celebrating today.
Well, we're celebrating 10 years since the Sifton Cook's Heritage Centre opened in 2012, in June 2012. So we're celebrating that 10th year anniversary.
How has it changed, or has it?
Well, I wasn't here at the time, so I have no idea how it has changed. But I think consistently, we've added a few things. We added the railway. We added, the acknowledgements. We've added some things to the actual exhibits as well. And one of the things that we're trying to do is we're trying to change a little bit how we present the stories of our people here. We're starting to move into possibly using videos and videography and laptops and iPads or tablets and that kind of thing. So over the next coming years you will see a change into the actual presentation from storyboards and a lot of detail to more interactive types of things.
Tell me about what the museum celebrates itself. In other words, why is it here?
Why is it here? The museum was an idea or a creation of two guys called Sifton and Cook. And they saw this old dilapidated building here and decided that they wanted to do something about it. The story had been that it was always called the barracks here in Cobourg, but the story also had been that it was part of troops, held troops during the War of 1812. However, we have not been able to verify that particular story, but we can say that the building was here we know it was here in 1840 for sure, because the gentleman who owned Lakehurst tried to sell the property and he listed it as a stables at that particular time.
Can you talk a little bit about the railway? Railway, I guess it's modeled after Cobourg Peterborough.
Yeah, the railway is modeled after the Cobourg and Peterborough Railway from the 1854. The railway was created to bring lumber down from the area up around Peterborough and bring it down to Cobourg Harbour, send it across the lake, and it ended up usually in markets in Albany, New York. In order to create a railway all the way up to Peterborough, if you go in a straight line north of here, you run into an object called Rice Lake. And that presented an engineering effort to how do we get across Rice Lake? We don't want to go all the way around it. So in the 1850s they decided to build a bridge across Rice Lake. It was a wooden bridge, and we have got a recreation of it here on site. Unfortunately, it was a wooden bridge and not everything got created that should have, and didn't get built exactly as was supposed to. So the winter conditions on Rice Lake led to its becoming very, very unstable, and it had to be abandoned around 1860, 1861.
George Parker has done amazing with
George
the buildings.
George created the railway, created all the buildings. He's a local historian and did all of that. And he also has a creation now inside in the East End, in a room in the East End, where he tells the story of how the iron ore in the 1860s, 70s was brought from a mine at Marmora all the way down to Cobourg Harbour to end up in the steel mills in Pittsburgh and Cleveland.
Beautiful museum that everybody should see that's interested in Cobourg and surrounding area.
Yes, I would hope that you would come. We're open this summer. We're open starting July 1. We're open Wednesday to Sunday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday from 10 to 5. Sunday 1 to 5. And also we have a number of events planned for this summer. Music on the porch, speaker system, and a play at in September.
Joan, tell me, Joan, you were with this from the beginning.
I was the mayor at the time, and I knew Lou Peters, who owned this property, and I was aware that he was interested in selling possibly, and I just loved the old building. I remember it from when I was going to West Collegiate, and we used to often come down to the old shack and poke around in this area. And so anyways, I think it was Stanley and it was Keith, and I don't want to leave anybody else out, but there were several of us that were involved with some of the historical happenings in town, and we decided that rather than to let it go into a rumble or crumble, there was maybe a chance that we could have the thing rebuilt and have a little museum. So, that was the seed that was planted, and we raised, I think, $5,000 amongst us, and Lou Peters took back a mortgage. And so there we were, ready to start the long program of restructuring.
Can you believe it's been 10 years?
Actually, it's a miracle that it all happened within that sense of time, because even with adding the cottage on, like sometimes we were often short of funds, and so we had to go, we learned to work ahead and try to catch every grant that came forward, and at the same time try to excite the Cobourg and area people about the possibility of having the ability to capture the old stories of the development here in Cobourg and area. And we always stressed it was area, because we realized that, even out through the townships, a lot of these people, we were all connected as early families. And so the stories were important to all of us. And it's interesting that even the restoration and the development of this site and what we are able to share here came from so many different facets in our early history, because there were those that were actually interested in research and in the ACO and their involvement to make sure that the steps we took were true to the original intent. And then there were the worker bees who came and helped and slugged away as they did the dirty work to get things done. And everybody played an important part to make what we have now happen.
And forgive me, are you still on the board now?
I stayed on the board, and I'm still as part of the financial committee, the treasury, so with Stanley Isherwood's long-term tenure in that office, So
you're still actively involved?
I'm still active. I do what I'm able.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate because I can share a bit of financial each year, and it's very important to have, not only life members, but long-term members, and to attract new people so they understand that this is part of Cobourg, and we really have a wonderful story to share.